Look up at the sky tonight. You might see a few stars, maybe the moon, maybe nothing at all, drowned out by city lights and the glow of your phone. But for 99.9% of human history, that sky was the most terrifying and magnificent thing any human had ever seen. No telescope, no textbook, no satellite, just darkness, stars, and a brain powerful enough to ask a question no other animal has ever asked. What is all of this? The answers they came up with changed everything, and some of them were closer to the truth than we give them credit for. Before science, the universe wasn't a place. It was a story, and your ancestors were the characters in it. Every ancient culture on Earth developed cosmology, a system for understanding where the sky came from, what it was made of, and why it existed. And what's remarkable is how consistent they were, despite being separated by thousands of miles and thousands of years. Almost all of them agreed on one thing: the universe is alive. The Egyptians believed the sky was the body of a goddess named Nut, arching over the earth. The stars were light shining through holes in her skin. The Babylonians, the most advanced astronomers of the ancient world, believed the planets were gods. Not symbols of gods, actual gods, moving through the heavens with intention and purpose. The Lakota of North America called the Milky Way the Spirit Road, the path walked by souls after death. And here's what's strange about this: they weren't wrong in the way we think they were. Modern humans almost never look up. We have seen so many artificial lights that the Milky Way is invisible from 80% of North America. But your ancestors, every single night of their lives, slept under a sky so dark they could see it with naked eyes so clearly that the band of the galaxy looked like a road. And they studied it. Before writing was invented, before mathematics, before any of the tools we associate with science, ancient humans were tracking the movements of stars with a precision that still confuses modern researchers. The Stonehenge monument in England, built around 3000 BCE, is aligned to the rising sun on the summer solstice, with no modern instruments. No GPS, no calendar software. The pyramids of Giza are aligned to true north, with less than 1/10 of a degree of error. That level of precision requires centuries of sky observation passed down through generations. The Polynesian navigators crossed the Pacific Ocean, the largest body of water on Earth, using only stars, ocean swells, and bird migration patterns. No maps, no compass. They could feel where they were by reading the sky. These were not primitive people who didn't understand the cosmos. They were people who lived inside the cosmos in a way we have almost entirely forgotten. So what did they think the universe was? The Mesopotamians, around 2000 BCE, believed the Earth was flat and surrounded by a great salt sea. Above it was a solid dome, the sky, and above that, another ocean. The gods lived above the upper ocean. The dead lived below the lower one. This sounds mythological to us now, but it was also science. It was the best explanation available with the tools they had. The ancient Greeks went further. Anaximander, a philosopher born around 610 BCE, proposed that the Earth floated in space, unsupported. This was extraordinary. Every other theory of the time had the Earth sitting on something water or a great turtle or the back of a giant. Anaximander said no, it floats, by itself, in the middle of everything. He was right. Aristarchus of Samos, around 270 BCE, proposed that the Earth revolves around the Sunday, not the other way around. Nearly 1,800 years before Copernicus, a Greek scientist figured out the heliocentric model of the solar system. He was ignored. The idea was too strange, too uncomfortable. It stayed buried for nearly 2 millennia. But here's the thing that stays with you when you really sit with this. Ancient humans weren't just trying to understand what the universe is, they were trying to understand why it exists. That's a different question, a harder one. The Rig Veda, one of the oldest texts in human history, written around 1500 BCE in ancient India, contains a hymn called the Nasadiya Sukta, the hymn of creation. It begins, "There was neither existence nor non-existence. There was neither death nor immortality. There was no sign of night or day." And then it asks, who really knows? Who will here proclaim it? Whence was it produced? Whence is this creation? The gods came afterwards, so who knows where it came from? A 3,000-year-old text, and the author is saying, I don't know where the universe came from. Even the gods don't know. Maybe no one does. That is not primitive thinking. That is philosophy. That is the same question physicists are still asking today when they look at the Big Bang and ask what existed before it. The question is the same, only the tools have changed. There is something scientists have noticed as they go further back into ancient cosmology. Some of it is surprisingly accurate. The ancient Hindus described a universe that was billions of years old in texts written thousands of years before modern astronomy. The number they cited, the age of Brahma's day, corresponds to roughly 4.32 billion years. Modern science puts the age of the Earth at 4.5 billion years. The ancient Greeks speculated that matter was made of tiny, invisible, indivisible particles. They called them atomos. It was a philosophical guess, not a scientific discovery, but it was correct. The Maya built a calendar so precise it tracked the cycles of Venus to within 2 hours over centuries. Not because they had better tools than we do, but because they had something we've lost. They had time. They had patience. They had nothing more important to do than watch the sky every night for 1,000 years and write down what they saw. Tonight, when the sun goes down, step outside for a minute. Look up, find one star. That light left its source years ago, maybe thousands of years ago. It crossed the entire void of space and landed exactly on your eye at exactly this moment. Your ancestors saw the same light. They had no idea what a star was. They didn't know it was a sun. They didn't know it was dying. They just knew it was there, enormous and silent, and that it meant something. They were right about that part. The universe is enormous. It is ancient. It is almost completely beyond our comprehension. And the first humans who ever looked up at it, with no science and no instruments and no words for what they were seeing, felt the same thing you feel right now when you really let yourself look. We are small. The sky is vast. And somehow, we are here. That feeling is 300,000 years old. And it's still true.